All right. Hello, everyone. So today we will just talk about the data loader and data import wizard and the couple of questions we do normally get from this topic. And this is an important topic because you see, most of the time we work on data loader just for our own purpose. We do not explore it, 100%. So we may be able to answer a couple of questions, but then there will always be few questions which we fail to answer because we have not explored the tool fully. So we will talk about such questions and yeah, we will see how to answer those questions as well. I will first log in on my screen and we will start from the data import wizard because that is the easiest thing. Okay, data import wizard and data loader both are used to load the data. So how many of you have used the data loader actually? Okay, yeah, Trisha, tell me.
You're asking brief idea on that, Mohit?
No, no, if you have used data loader to upload some data in Salesforce.
Okay, okay.
Yes, I've used that.
Okay. And data import wizard.
Yes,
Okay. See, they both are used to upload data. Okay. But data import wizard is a very limited tool. Very limited tool in the way that it does not support all the objects. Okay. So if you go to setup and write down the data import wizard, you will be able to see the jobs which are already running, or you can launch the wizard. The moment you launch the wizard, it will give you this screen where you can select the objects which you want to load data on. So for standard object, it supports only these objects: account, contacts, leads, and solutions. You cannot upload opportunities via data import wizard. You cannot upload cases via data import wizard. So these are the few things which is very limited. So data import wizard mostly is used to load accounts and contacts, leads, and solutions. Okay. Now, if you select the accounts and it supports all the custom objects. So if you are uploading custom object, it is okay to upload it via data import wizard. The sometimes major limitations interviewer ask in an interview is that up to what limit you can upload data via data import wizard. So you can see you can import up to 50,000 records at a time. If you have more than that, then this tool will not be able to help you. Okay, so this is a very important interview question. What is the limit for limit of number of the records in data import wizard? Okay, 50,000 it is, and it supports all the custom object but only very limited standard objects: account, contacts, leads, and solutions. Okay, it does not support opportunity, which is a major miss. Okay. Now, once you select the account or contact, once you select the object name, it will ask if you want to add a new record, or if you want to update the existing record, or if you want to add new and update existing record. So basically insert, update, and upsert. It supports three operations. The major miss from here is that delete. If you want to delete something, it is not possible from here. Okay, if you see the name, it is only for import. It is not for export. You cannot export anything. So these are couple of things which you will tell when they ask you the difference between data loader versus data import wizard, because the major question from this topic is the difference between data loader and the import wizard. So import wizard is only used for import, whereas data loader can also be used for export as well. Okay. All right. Now, once you select, you want to add new record, it will give you a couple of options like how do you want to match the contact, how do you want to match the account, depending on if you are uploading account and contact, what record type you are uploading. And the thing I want you to focus on is this. So this data import wizard gives you an option to check or uncheck this. Okay. If you want to trigger all the workflow rule and processes on that object, you can click this, or if you don't want to run them, you can uncheck this. This is a very important thing. This is not available in data loader. Okay, if you want to conditionally want to bypass the validation rule or the trigger or the workflow rules and everything in data loader, you will have to write the conditional logic in your trigger or in your workflow rule, or you will have to build it in a way that whatever user is uploading the data is you are bypassing it for that user. So that is not possible with the standard. But here in the data import wizard, you can bypass the workflow rules and processes by clicking on this checkbox. Okay. And then the last option is upload your file. So it also takes the CSV file, and these are the different variants if you want to upload directly from the Outlook or from the Gmail or what it is. I haven't used, but most of the time you'll be using the CSV file which is already available in your system, and then you will just upload it from here, whatever file you have. I don't think I have any CSV files. Yeah, I have a couple of CSV files which I have used. So once you select it, it will ask you to do the mapping and all those things. So let me just, for the sake of selecting, select one file, okay? To just show you the next screen. Now, if I click on next, it will ask you to map it, okay? Currently it is not mapped, so it will ask you to map your fields and all. My file is really bad, so that is not going to happen. But then in this screen you will be doing the mapping, and then when you click on next, it will start the upload process. Okay, so this is actually a user file, so it will not be mapped. Otherwise, had it been account or contract related file, couple of the headers would automatically get updated. Okay, so that's how you will use the data import and data import wizard. Okay, this is the data import wizard, which is a very limited tool. Very rarely we use this tool to upload data in Salesforce nowadays, because Salesforce data loader supports all these things along with additional features as well. So we prefer to use the data loader, but it is very important for you to know that when to use the import wizard. Import wizard is a good tool because you can avoid duplicates. Okay, you can avoid duplicates with the import wizard if your data is within the range of 50,000, and if it follows the custom object, and if it has a standard object like account, contact. Okay, then you can use this because it is easy to use. You need not to install anything, you need not to download anything. But let's say if you have to upload the opportunity, or if you are not sure the size of the data, like you're not sure how many records you're going to upload, it could be more than 50,000 as well, then it is better to use data loader, because data loader is designed to do that kind of thing for the bulk of data. Okay, so that is why we prefer to use data loader at time. Okay, I do not have data loader installed in my system, because in my company we have a dedicated admin to upload data. But data loader is a very simple tool. You can download it, and then it gives you all the option to import, export, update, insert, everything. So data loader is a full-fledged tool to do all that thing. Okay, but the major question from here is that what is the difference between data loader and data import wizard? Okay, so that question is very important and you need to answer it. I will provide the notes for this, so do not worry about writing anything down. But for now, just understand that data loader is basically used for more than 50,000 records up to 5 million records. Okay, and data import wizard is a tool which is used for to upload data up to 50,000 records. Data loader works on every object, whereas data import wizard only works on few standard object and every custom object. Okay, data loader provides you all the options like insert, update, delete, export, whereas data import wizard only is used for import purpose. That too, it only supports the insert, update, and upsert. It does not support delete operation. Okay, it is possible to bypass the workflow rules and processes in the data import wizard, but that is not possible via standard way in the data loader. You have to build it custom, in a custom manner to bypass those things. Okay. Yes, we can also use dataloader.io. Dataloader.io is basically an extension, kind of a web version of data loader. So yes, that is possible to use. And there are other tools like this as well to talk about data load. I will talk about this other tools available. Okay. And Yes, so duplicates, we can ignore duplicates in the import wizard, but we cannot ignore duplicates in the data loader as well. Okay, and sure, these are a couple of major differences available. Make sure you explain them properly. Make sure you try to theoretically explain and as well as practically explain all those sort of things, like which object you cannot upload in the import wizard and what is not possible in the data load. uh, a very important interview question comes is that now data loader also has a limit up to 5 million records. So just for the sake of answering, asking the question, they will ask you, if we have to upload more than 5 million records, what to do then? Okay, so see, this is a very bad interview question. If they ask you, like, if you have to upload, there will very rarely there'll be any org which will have more than 5 million records in a particular object. Okay, 5 million records means huge database. Okay, if you have 5 million records in a particular object, all you will almost be on the verge of getting the data storage limit as well. Okay, so it will be very rare to reach the 50 million 5 million records, 50 million records in 5 million records in an org. But if there is an org which has more than 5 million records on a particular object, then you need to contact Salesforce support. They will definitely recommend couple of ETL tools which will help you to load data. For more than 5 million records, it's not like a very smooth road. It will be via Salesforce, because there are a lot of things involved. You might be hitting the governor limit, you might be hitting the data storage limit, you might not have that sufficient license to have that kind of data storage available. So if you have a requirement which says that more than 5 million records in an object, you need to contact Salesforce supports. That's what Salesforce is recommending you to, and then they will either suggest an app exchange product, or they will recommend a couple of ETL tools, or they will break down your requirement into multiple pieces. But that's how it works. For more than 5 million record, there is no straightforward tool. There are multiple tools, but if data loader is breaking to load your data, then there is no other better tool available to load the data. So the other option is to contact Salesforce support and get in touch with them, inform them your requirement, inform them your problem, and then they will definitely recommend a couple of ETL tools for that. Okay, so this is a trick question they ask in an interview. If you have to upload more than 5 million, what you do? There is no straightforward answer to this. The straightforward answer is that if we have more than 5 million, we need to contact Salesforce support, and they might recommend us a couple of ETL tools, or the data load tool, or the app exchange product to do those kind of thing. But it is going to be a complex process, because once we reach more than 5, because see, this 5, there is no hard limit of 5 million, but Salesforce has created this limit by looking into the data storage in their mind. Okay, so if you have more than 5 million record, then you will also, even if they provide a tool which is capable to handle more than 5 million, you will hit data storage limit as well. And data storage is very costly in Salesforce as well. So it is not only about the tools capability, it is about the platform capability as well. Okay, so there is no straightforward answer, but if you explain it properly in terms of data storage limit, and in terms of, see, it is not written that data loader will not be able to load more than 5 million. What's written in Salesforce documentation is that data loader is recommended to load data between ranges between 50,000 to 5 million, but it has nowhere written that it will not be able to upload more than 5 million. The way Salesforce has written it is that if you have more data than 5 million, then you may hit the data storage limit as well, or you need to have more than thousands of licenses in order to have that kind of data storage. Okay, so in order to answer this question, you need to expand your horizon, not only about the data capabilities of data loader, but also application capabilities of Salesforce in terms of data storage and processing. Okay, all right. Any doubt in this question, guys? This is a very important question. The moment you say that data loader is up to 5 million, they will ask you what to do if we have more than 5 million. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Mohit, Mohit, you mentioned that data loader can accept the duplicate records, right?
Data, there is no prevention mechanism, like data loader will not automatically be detect the duplicates. Okay, so if you are sending two accounts with the same email ID, it will not automatically be checking like they are two different records. If it is insert, it may insert them as a separate record. Okay, you will have to do the cleaning on the file itself. Like you will have on the Excel itself, you will have to do some data cleaning. But if you use the import wizard, this gives you an option to select like on which email ID field you want to check and all those things. So it is possible to kind
No,
of.
no,
Mhm.
my question is, you said it will accept the duplicate records, right? During the import or export reason, import when we are importing or exporting the data, both in both conditions.
See, exporting means you are fetching data from the Salesforce. So whatever data
Uh,
is already there in Salesforce, we will fetch it out. That is not a problematic thing, even if there are duplicates. The problematic thing is that when we are uploading data in Salesforce, we need to be extremely careful about what data we are going to upload, because we mostly work on the sandboxes, and that is okay to even upload the duplicate data in sandboxes. But the production is driven by the data. So let's say your sales team, your leadership team is looking at the Salesforce forecast for the next quarter. Okay, and if you have uploaded the duplicate opportunities which have same data, then your sales forecast will be inflated. Like it will display a different number than the actual number, which will obviously change the way company will be forecasting their sales and quarters revenue. So whenever we are uploading some data in the production, we need to be extremely careful about what data we are uploading. So before uploading, we thoroughly check the data, all the duplicates and everything in the data. Every file, every column, every row will be checked thoroughly before uploading the data. So that is where we have
in
to do the data clean.
in this situation, we can use the upset operation,
Yes,
upset
yes. See,
to avoid the duplicates.
yeah, definitely we can use the upsert. And if we already have a mechanism to find like for upsert, for the update case, it requires a reference in your Salesforce org. Like how will it identify there is already an account with this name? So you will have to provide an external ID or the Salesforce ID. Okay, in
Yeah.
order for them to understand this is already an existing record. So we can use let's say we are only talking about insert. Okay, we have
Mm.
two rows which have same name, same email ID and everything. Okay,
Mm.
everything is same. Data loader will not be able to identify them as a the same record. It will
Mm.
identify as a two different record and will upload it as a two different accounts. So that is something
Mm.
where data cleaning activity comes in place. And before uploading data, we do all the data cleaning activities. Like like we have to make sure that our Excel file or CSV file is properly created, then uploading that data. Okay.
Oh, so there is solution for avoid the duplicates, right?
Obviously, yeah, there is definitely a solution to avoid the duplicates. We have to make sure that our file is correct and properly. And even if the data has been loaded in Salesforce, even after that, there can be data cleaning activities will happen. So that is not a problem. But we need to be make sure that the file we are uploading is correct and properly thoroughly checked by the business. So that is what I'm telling you. We as a Salesforce developer do not get to upload data a lot. Data upload activity is mostly on the business side. Like they do data upload, they do the validation on data, they do check the data and make sure the data is fine. And then once they say this, yes, they have gone through the data file and everything looks fine, then we may upload, or an admin may upload, or a business person, QA, or someone who is BA can upload the data. So from last 10 months, I don't think I've uploaded any data in Salesforce. We hardly get to upload data because that is a very critical thing, and business knows more about data than we as a Salesforce developers.
And one more thing, Mohit, when you are preparing the PDF, can you please mention these point, like which situation we can avoid the duplicates in import and export conditions? Can you please mention the points?
Sure. I will do that.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. I've got a couple of questions in the chat, so let me also take them. Okay, Rajkumar is asking if we are loading 2K records, then we will use data import, right? Only if the record is more than 50K we will use data loader. No, it's not like that, Rajkumar, it depends on which tool we are more comfortable with. And I have never used data import wizard in my whole career, and business will not say this, that use import wizard or the data loader. Business is concerned about loading the data, that's all. Which tool you want to use, see, data loader and import wizards are not the only tool. There are a couple of other tools available as well. So it depends on which tool gives us more flexibility, which tool we are more comfortable with, and which tool is less error prone. Okay. And with the import wizard, yes, it is very easy, but it is very limited tool. So I don't want to use a limited tool to do something which has, a wider scope. So I prefer not to use data import wizard because it does not support all these standard object. Okay. But yes, if an interviewer asks you that what to use, what not to use, you can say that it also depends on the personal choices as well. Like I personally prefer to use data loader than the import wizard because there is no limitation in data loader, whereas data import wizard is a very limited tool. So just for the sake of checking, you can check data import wizard by uploading one or two account or contact. But preferred, I and most of the people prefer to use data loader because it is more flexible tool and provide multiple options. Okay, does that answer your question, Rajkumar?
Yeah, yes, Mohit. Thanks for the clarification.
Okay. Raghavendra Swami is asking 10,000 records uploading. If at 5,001 loading failed, then how to face this and solve this issue? See, if we are uploading 10,000 records and 5,000 have processed, and on the 5,001's record, we got the error and rest all failed, we will get a success file and an error file. Okay. Normally what we do is that what I do is that I fetch the error file, remove the error column, and re-upload the file after making sure that I have corrected the error. Okay, but there is other way as well in the Salesforce. If you want to upload the same file which has 10,000 records, there is one option: start at row. Okay, you can select start at row as 5,001, and then it will directly start from your 5,001 record rather than going through the first 5,000 which were successfully uploaded. But see, it not happen always that they will fail in a row. There could be a couple of random records which failed and you're not sure about which row failed. So most of the time, the preferred way is that fetch the error file, see the error message, correct the error message, remove the error column, and then re-upload the error file. Okay, that is the better way of doing it. But if you know the sequence, like first 5,000 successfully passed and rest 5,000 failed, then you can also use this option: select data load at, and then you will get an option to provide the row number, and then your data load will start from the row number. Then you can upload the same file which you uploaded for the first time, and it will only upload the data from the 5,001 row rather than going from the first row. Okay, does that answer your question, Raghavin? All right, silent, I'll take it as yes, but ping me if it is not. The next question is, Sudhir is asking, do we stop uploading duplicates to duplicate rules and matching rule? Yes, see, duplicate rules and matching rules are available, and we need to activate them, but it is not always it is not always true that they will match it. But if there are other duplicates as well, like which they are not falling in the criteria of duplicate rules and matching rule, that will not work. And if the duplicate rules and matching rule will be triggered in the data loader, I think that will be triggered obviously. Otherwise, what is the point of uploading the duplicates and matching rule? But I will confirm if they will get triggered or not. But see, duplicate rules and matching rule will have a particular criteria, like we are duplicating it based on the email ID. But there could be a couple of other things as well which are making the duplicate, making the behavior of duplicates between two rows, which we have not added in the duplicate rules or matching rule. So that is why we prefer to clean the file before uploading it, is a better way of doing it. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Sir, after performing upsert creation, duplicate can be avoided, right? After performing, see, upsert is basically whenever in a file, you're not sure that which is insert, which is upsert. So if the record is already there, then update it. If record is not there, then insert it. Duplicate means that uh, duplicate means that a record is already there and you do not want to, you don't want to have a same data in any other record. Okay, so duplicate has a different, see, let's say we are uploading an account A. There are two rows with the same field set, then they will be treated as duplicates. Okay, and Salesforce will not avoid duplicate. And if you are upserting, then you will have to provide an external ID or the Salesforce ID. So for new record there will be no ID. Okay, and if there is an external ID, then there will be some data in the external ID if it is already there. So upserting is altogether a different mechanism. Okay, and duplicate can be in the insert file itself, like we are inserting but two rows have same data. Salesforce will treat them as a different records. Okay, I don't know, I think I might have confused you more, but I'll try to explain it more, Prashant. Okay, don't worry. Can we use bulk API feature to more? No. Bulk API feature will also work up to 5 million only. Okay.
Hi, Mehul.
Yes.
Does Dataloader operation also bypass the trigger validations which are in place for
No.
say like insert and update operation?
No. They
So
will.
then we can say that we can restrict from duplication.
See,
Like if there is a trigger validation for duplicates.
see, when we write trigger, we do not think about uploading new data and restricting the new data. Okay, it does not bypass those things. Of course, they will run, but trigger is basically to build some automation within your Salesforce org. It is not to prevent something from getting data uploaded or something. The Of course you can do, but that will be a bad kind of utilization of triggers. If you are preventing data upload through the triggers, of course we have validation rules as well for that purpose. But what I'm trying to say, and what I'll expect you to explain in an interview, is that validation rules and the triggers, they are not built to stop the bulk data load from the data loader. They are used to stop the data creation within Salesforce. Like you are creating a new account, and if you provided something wrong, or if your user is entering something wrong, for that purpose we use validation rule or triggers to prevent something from happening. But when it comes to the bulk data load from the data loader, okay, then we do not build trigger from thinking about that point of view. Okay, many times, and the new organizations are building it in a way that they bypass the trigger. So they will write a trigger in a way is that if the user is not equals to this, let's say you created a user whose name is data load user. Okay, and whatever logic they want to perform, they will perform it as a other user, not the data load user. So if the user is data load user, then the trigger will not run itself. This is a kind of bypass mechanism companies are building, because data load activity is a huge activity. Most of the time we upload a bulk of data. If we keep running our triggers, obviously we will hit the governor limits, because data load is a huge activity and we cannot keep the batch size as one. Okay, if we keep the batch size as one and think that you're uploading 1 lakh record, it will take forever. Like it will be a very long activity, and then your users who are using the application will also feel the problem with it. Okay, because the user might be trying to update that record, and data loader might still be trying to update that record, then one of them will face the row log error. Okay, or granular error, or the deadlock may happen. So try not to restrict data loader from the trigger or validation rule, because they are built to for the not for that purpose, to be very frank. The best possible way to make sure that we are correcting data is through making sure that the data file which we are uploading have been thoroughly looked by a business. Okay, they need to be sure about what data we are uploading and everything is correct or not. See, in a big organization, a data load activity normally goes through multiple iteration of checking that file. A business owner will check, and then product manager will check, the product manager will check, then project manager will check, then let's say a BA will check, and then it goes through the upload part. Okay, it's not like we got a file and we uploaded it directly. That not happen. If it is the sandbox, then it is fine. But if it is a production data, we have to be very careful about the data, and don't try to prevent these bulk data load file via triggers and all, because that is a complex process and we might get couple of governor limits as well. Okay.
Yeah. It will not be regulated as practice producer. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. Tausif is asking, can we use bulk API feature for more than 5 million records while loading data loader? No, we can use the bulk API feature, but that will also be limited up to 5 million. Like I told you, in the Salesforce documentation, it is nowhere written as that data loader will not be able to load more than 5 million data. What it is written is that data loader is a tool suitable for to upload up to 5 million data. Okay, but for more than 5 million data, they have not written that data loader will not be able to, or something like that, or there is no hard limit as such a 5 million. But the limit 5 million is also because of the Salesforce org limits as well, like the data storage limit, file storage limit, and all those kind of storage limits as well. So even if we use bulk API, more than 5 million is not a recommended way of Salesforce. And see, very, very rarely you will see any org uploading more than 5 million data. Okay, very rarely. So if you have a requirement of more than 5 million, it is not like it will not be possible. It will be possible, but you will have to connect with Salesforce. All right, Trivali has sent us attachment in single la. Yeah, that is the batch size. Yeah,
No,
batch,
it's just information, Mohit.
yeah, batch size is also very important, and we will talk about. We have that question. All right. So now I believe you guys understand that this limit 5 million and all. Uh, More than five, for what you should do for more than 5 million record, because they most of the time they ask this question. The moment you say that in the data loader, we can, I mean, there is a limit of 5 million, they will say, what if we need to do 7 million records? What will you do? Okay, so it's not like I will do something. I will raise a case with Salesforce that this is my use case. I have an object which has more than 7 million data. I need to upload it, and Salesforce document says that the data loader will be a good tool up to 5 million. But my requirement is 7 million. So what should I do? Which tool I should use? Most of the time they'll say that break your requirement into multiple pieces, like 4 million as two chunks, and then upload them. But that will also not work because you will hit the overall storage limit as well. Okay, so in that case, you need to connect with Salesforce. They will tell you all the permutation and combinations available. They may ask you to increase your storage as well, and all sort of things. All those discussions will start, but it will not be a very smooth road. It's not like if we broke our data file of 7 million into two pieces of the 3.5 and 3.5 million, and upload 3.5 million in one go and other 3.5 million in the second go. In the second 3.5 million, we might hit our storage limit of our org as well. There is a very high possibility that we will hit the storage limit as well. So answer is not that straightforward the way it looked. And that is what an interviewer expects from you, to explain them what could go wrong. If he is a good interviewer, of course. If he is just asking the question for the sake of asking, then you can say that if you have more than 5 million, the road is not that easy. It's not like just breaking it and uploading it twice, because when we talk about millions of data, it is going to be very rare org. I have never seen any org which uploads that kind of data. Okay, and it will very be rare. But interviews are very different, and in the interview they can ask any question. So as a good candidate, you will be explaining all the possibilities as well. Okay, all right. The other very important question comes in that what is the difference between export and export all? So in the data loader, there is an option export and there is also an option export all. Export means we are exporting a data of an object. Okay, we are picking a data. Let's say we selected opportunities. We are picking the opportunities data, exporting it. Okay, it will ask you which field you want to export. First, it will ask you which object and then which field, and then you can click on export. You'll be able to export it. Export all, however, will also fetch the data from the recycle bin as well. Okay, it's sometimes when I ask this question from candidate, what they say is that export means fetching data from one object, whereas export all means fetching data from all the objects. Okay, but export all means we are fetching the data from same object, but also the data which is stored in the recycle bin as well. It is not fetching data from all the objects in Salesforce. That's not how it works. Okay, so don't say wrong. If you don't know, you can say that, okay, I am not really sure about export all, but never say wrong thing. Okay, but I hope now you will be able to answer this. Okay, what is the default batch size in the data loader? Okay, now you have gave us a link. Let me show. All right, the default batch size is 2000. Sorry, 200 records. Okay, and the maximum size, maximum value could be 10,000 if the bulk API option is selected. Okay, and if the bulk API option is selected, then I think the default size is 2000, something like that. Okay, so by default the batch size is 200. Okay, and if the bulk API option is selected, then it becomes 2000 and the maximum is 10,000. Okay, I will write it down in the notes, so do not worry about the exact number, but this is something like, okay.
Sir, it means data loader is loading the data in asynchronous way.
Yes, data loader is loading the data asynchronously.
Okay, got it.
All right, see, when the bulk API checkbox is true, okay, then it is loading data in the bulk in the backend. Otherwise, data loader is a SOAP based API tool. Okay, sometimes they ask this data loader is based on REST or SOAP. Okay, so data loader is a SOAP based API tool, okay, which uploads data in your R. Okay.
Okay.
There is one very important question. They say that how do we import null values in Salesforce via data loader? Okay, let's say you have a column which has null value. Okay, and by default it will not allow you null values. Okay, so when you go to the settings of data loader, there is a checkbox, okay, which says that import null values. If you turn that checkbox as true, then you are allowed to upload the null values. Otherwise, null values will give you errors. Okay, so sometimes they ask in an interview, but this is more from the execution point of view. Sometimes you will you want that there is a field, there is a column which few rows have value, but few rows does not have value. But if you want to allow null values, then you will have to check it and you will have to make sure that it is turned on. Okay, so that's how you upload the null values as well. Otherwise, the null values gives us error. Okay.
So into the data loader itself, we have that
Yeah,
checkbox.
into the data loader itself, we have checkbox. See, I'm not allowed to download it, otherwise I would have shown you. But when you go to the data loader, there is a setting. There is a setting on the top left corner. You click on this, it will show you all the options available. If someone has data loader in the system, can you share your screen? I'll show you. Anyone has data loader on their system?
Not in my side.
All right. Okay. I'll show you screenshots. Don't worry. There on the setting itself, there are multiple options. There is one option, allow null values. There is one option to enable the bulk API checkbox. Okay. That option is also very important. And whenever you have to upload the bulk of data, bulk API checkbox is available. And then you can increase the size of your batch. So otherwise your default size will be 200, but if you enable it, then your bulk API size will be increased. If let's say if you're uploading the bulk of data, then you can mark your batch size as 10,000 and upload the data. Okay.
Okay.
The bulk API checkbox is also very important, and they ask in an interview what it is and why do we use it. Okay. Tausif is saying he has data loader. Okay, Tausif, I am giving you a host permission, and if you share it, we will be able to show you. Okay, just a second. Tausif. All right, I've made you co-host, Tausif, and you can now share your screen. I'll stop sharing. Okay. Perfect. Now click on the setting on the top left. Yes. So if you see the third option, it says that insert null values. Okay, this is the option I was talking about. This is very important. If you will not check this, and if your data load file has null values, they'll start giving you errors. Similar to this option, if you come down, you will see that use bulk API option. Okay. Yeah, this option is basically tells you that now you can upload the bulk APIs, and the batch size can be increased. Okay. Here batch size is 2000. If you uncheck this, now batch size is only 200. So the default bulk batch size, if bulk API is checked, is 2000, and the batch size normally is 200. Okay. And the third option here, you see that enable serial mode for the bulk API. That is also very important. So what happens is that just below the use bulk API, we have enable serial mode for bulk API. Okay, there are two modes, serial mode and parallel mode. Serial mode, that the batches will run in, will be uploaded in a serial. Okay, so batch 1 will go first, then batch 2 will go first, and then batch 3 will go first. But there is another mode called the parallel mode. Parallel mode means that two batches can run in parallel. Okay, so it's not like, oh, batch 2 will go when batch 1 will finish. They can go in a same parallel mode as well. Okay, but parallel mode is more error prone. Okay, because it will be loading a lot of data, and sometimes it might be possible that a batch 1 might have change something on the same record, and batch 2 might picked it, or batch 1 might have inserted it and batch 2 might be updating it, something like that. Sometimes there could be some issues. Okay, there could be some issues. So Salesforce recommend us to use the serial mode whenever we are working on the complex data. Okay, so if you are uploading bulk data, but you want to make sure that the batches should go in serial, you will enable serial mode for bulk API, and this will allow you to load data in the serial mode. Okay, so always remember, from this screen, you remember batch size, how much batch size is default, insert null value option, enable serial mode, use bulk API. Those kind of options you should remember, because they ask these things in the interview. Okay. All right, I think that's what I wanted to share. Now I will take back the control. Okay, thank you so much, Tausif. Okay,
Thank you, Tausif.
now couple of other questions. Okay, how to enable hard delete in data loader? Okay, hard delete option is also see, hard delete when you open the data loader. When you open the data loader, there are a couple of options available: insert, update, delete, export. Delete and hard delete option is also there. So hard delete option means that data will automatically be deleted. It will not go to the recycle bin. Okay. And for few users, this option is grayed out. For few users, this option is visible. So there is one option to enable it from the data loader settings. And even if we turn it on from the data loader, okay, I've never turned it on from the data loader, to be very frank, but there is some option. I will find it out for you guys. But if let's say hard delete is enabled from the data loader, but for few users it is coming as gray out. For few users it is visible, but for few users it is coming as gray out. So what could be the issue? This is an important interview questions they normally ask. I mean, a good interviewer will ask who has worked on the data loader. So what happens is that you turn it on from the data loader, but you will have to have the permission as well on your profile to do the hard delete. Okay. Bulk API hard delete, I think that is the permission name we give it on the profiles. Okay. It is, I think it comes in the system permissions, hard delete, bulk API hard delete, something like that. And if that permission is given to you, then only you will be able to do hard delete. Otherwise, this option will always be grayed out for you. You will not be able to click on it. Okay. And you also need to understand what is hard delete. Hard delete means deleting it directly. It will not go to recycle bin. Okay. So for few people, this might be a new thing, but they do ask this. Okay.
Like basically it's the purge, right?
Yes. Okay. See, when we do the data load, we also do the mapping, and we can save the mapping. Okay, so that in future, if we do the same objects data load, we need not to map it multiple times again and again. We can just fetch the mapping file and mapping will be done. So mapping is done in the SDL format. Okay, .sdl mapping file will be stored as .sdl file. So sometimes a tricky interview will ask you what is the SDL. Can anybody tell me without Googling? So I asked this question from a candidate, and he told me that SDL stands for Salesforce Data Loader, but that is not true. Okay, SDL stands for, yes, Service Description Language. Okay, it is not a standard data loader. SDL stands for Service Description Language. There are multiple abbreviation of SDL, but what we use in the Salesforce data loader is Service Description Language. It is not standard data loader. It is not Salesforce data loader. Okay. See, because mapping file is basically doing what? Providing you description to map the data. Okay, so it is Service Description Language. Okay. CSV, we all understand it is comma separated. Okay. So they sometimes ask what is CSV. Okay, can we also use the Excel file? So we can say no. Data loader will not take the Excel format. You will have to convert it in the CSV format. A very important interview question comes here is that how to import multi-select pick list value through the data loader. See, a field can have multiple values. Okay, a multi-select pick list means that a field will have multiple values. In the Salesforce data loader file, we upload single value. So how do we provide the multi-select pick list value or values to a multi-select pick list field? So we put it as a comma separated value in the same column. Okay, and it will be treated as a multi-select value. Okay, so if there are two values in the same field, you put them comma separated. Okay, and it will be treated as a multi-select value. The exercise for you guys will be to create a multi-select field and try to upload data in that field. Okay, because that is very important, and it is not only important from the interview point of view. Whenever you will start your journey or in your real jobs as well, sometimes you get this tricky situation to upload the value in the multi-select pick list field, and then you will see that how do we do that? Like, I have never done this. So you just put these value in a comma separated format and it will take it. Okay. All right. Other tools than data loader, like data loader is something which is a very widely known tool, but what are the other tools available than the data loader to upload the data? Okay. All right.
Dataloader IO is there.
Yeah, data loader IO is also a tool.
Workbench is also there.
Workbench is there.
Salesforce Inspector, one of the extension with
Yes.
the help of that also we can upload the data.
Correct. Salesforce Inspector is also there. And other
Mhm.
development tools also now provides the functionality to load data as well. Like AutoRabbit, we are using AutoRabbit. AutoRabbit gives us functionality to load data as well. Jitterbit also provides us, capabilities to load data. But see, we just need to know the name so that if in future we get to work with those tools, we know that, okay, this tool has a capability to provide data as well. Okay. And yes, Salesforce Inspector is also a very good tool. If you quickly need to export something or import something, it is a good tool. Okay, it is a good tool because with the inspector, you need not to be always provide the CSV file. Sometimes you just copy the Excel and paste it, and sometimes it works as well. So it's an easy, but whenever you get this question in an interview, you need to be very specific to what we should use, what we should not use. So data loader is Salesforce standard tool, whereas other tools are not Salesforce standard tools. So given an option, you in an interview always prefer to tell that data loader is a recommended tool to load the data rather than using any other tool. Even the workbench is not Salesforce very own tool. Okay, it's an external tool. So external, when it comes to data, standard companies will not risk their data because they are under the law of, there are other compliance as well available with the data. So they cannot use any ABC tool to load the data because there are data privacy policies. They are under the law. They are under the law with their customers that they cannot afford to leak their data. So data is a very sensitive thing. Okay. And when it comes to data, even though we can load data via multiple tools, it is recommended to use the Salesforce standard tool. And that is why data loader is very famous. The data loader is not famous because of its capability. Data loader is famous because it is Salesforce tool. So they're using Salesforce, there will no any legal obligation, there will be no possibilities of data leak, and they are under GDPR compliance. So they have to make sure that they are not using any such tool which has even a slightest possibility of data leak. Okay. So from the, if you explain this from the in an interview from the data privacy, data security point of view, you will impress your interviewer as well. And it's not only about impressing, it's also about following the best practices available. Okay. So even though there are
Hi,
multiple
Mohit.
tools, yeah, sure, Trisha, go ahead.
Hi, Mohit. This is Sophia. So I have a
Hi.
question here.
Yeah, please.
So when data loader is a standard tool for the Salesforce, how come Salesforce is allowing Workbench or Salesforce Inspector when we give credentials for the login?
See, these are the other tools which we are talking about are the, the tools which are available in the ecosystem for very long. It's not like Salesforce is blocking or not allowing or allowing. It's just that they're using the Salesforce capabilities and they have built on top of Salesforce to do all those things. But Workbench, if you see that in the Workbench itself, they have written that this is not a Salesforce tool or this is not an official Salesforce tool. So the reason why they are showing is that because Salesforce also wants them to make sure, make clear this to everybody that this is not Salesforce tool. Okay, it's not like if we cannot use it, but sometimes when we work on a consulting company, okay, or when we work for other clients, we need to be very mindful of the tools we are using. It's like in your computer, let's say you are using your company laptop, you are restricted to install other extensions. Sometimes company itself will refrain you from installing the extension on Chrome because there are policies made like in such way that you cannot even if you want any extension to be downloaded, you will have to go through the route of IT. Similar to, it depends on company to company. If there is no restriction for company, or let's say you're using a product based company, working in a product based company where there is no restriction, you're free to use any tool. Okay. But when I'm talking about standard tools, let's say you're working for Cisco or PepsiCo, they have a lot of security attached. The moment you install an extension on your computer, their IT team will get a notification that this particular IP has installed a particular extension. So sometimes they block it from there itself. Sometimes they will raise a security concern on you. Sometimes they could be um, basically inquiry on you as well, like why you have installed it. So it depends on company to company. There is no such rule that Salesforce obviously will not stop anybody to create such kind of tool, because that then it will become the monopoly of Salesforce, and Salesforce cannot afford that. It's an open market. Anybody can make a tool and can compete with Salesforce, or can build a tool on top of what Salesforce has provided. So that Salesforce cannot happen. That will be, that will be trying to make a monopoly, and that will not give a very good message in the industry. So Salesforce obviously will not stop anybody, and even Salesforce is not saying that you should not use. It depends on company to company. Like few companies will say that, like I was working for Ericsson, and there was restriction on anything. You cannot even use the Salesforce inspector or any other such thing available. Like we do admin use multiple tools to help ourselves, like roll up summary helper and all such thing. You were not allowed to use any of those things, because using any other tool requires multi-layer approval from their management, and going through that route will definitely take a lot of time and energy, and we did not have that much time. So it's not like we are anybody will stop you, but sometimes in consulting we need to be very careful about what we are using, okay, because of the data. See, now we are not sure that who has created this extension, Salesforce Lightning Studio. We are not sure who has created the Salesforce Inspector, or what they will. If you logged in through Salesforce Inspector in your org, can you stop them from not using your Salesforce data? They will have access to your data. They will have access to your history. They will have access to whatever you do in the Salesforce Inspector. So they could leak your data. Few companies are very mindful about their data, so they don't want to risk that thing. Obviously they will not use. They have created this extension to help us, not to take data from us, but we never sure. Okay, so few companies will not allow you to use it, but the other will. Okay, it's okay. So in an interview
And,
we can say all those things, but we also remember when we implement it.
and also, sir, there are so much limitations of the data loader, right? So we cannot upload with the help of CS, XML file, like the limit is also there. And if we talk about the workbench and other tools, there is not a limit, right? We can upload the data in XML as well, right? So we can also say these things.
Yes, definitely we can.
Each tool has its own use case, right?
Yes, perfect. Yeah, definitely we can say, and these tools have been created because there were limitations in data loader, right? So we can say, but when we actually work in a service-based company, a lot also depends on what they allow us to do. Okay, there will be restriction on computer, there will be restriction on the tool, there will be restriction on multiple things, what you can do, what you cannot do. Some companies in fact track your screen times as well. I was working for one company when I was in Cape Gemini, and they gave their own laptop, and that laptop was fully loaded with all the tracking, and how many times you are on a particular screen they were also tracking. So that, sometimes you get such kind of project which are really bad. All right. So that's it on the data loader and import wizard. It's an easy topic, to be very frank, but in my opinion, it's a topic which gives you an ample amount of opportunity to impress the interviewer. Okay, this is an easy topic, but it has a lot of meat in it to explain properly and get the maximum value out of this topic. Okay, so try to get that. But those who have not uploaded anything in via data loader or import wizard, please try to at least upload file, one of account, one of contact, one of opportunity, and see how the error message look like, how the success file look like, and how it actually loads in Salesforce. It will clear multiple doubts, and if you face any doubt, you can just ping me, and we will see how we can resolve those. Okay. All right, now I will have
Yep.
to load some data. Sorry, data, not data. I have to do a deployment. So last week was very tough week. We were not able to work because I was on the uh, multiple conference calls and everything. So work is pending.